Hey y'all, I'm Carole Corey, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome back to my Creating Corner. I'm so glad you're here. I love crafting with friends. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so we can create again some other time. But right now, I have some cards to put together. And no, I'm not doing a paper pumpkin kit. I do love my paper pumpkin kits, but I love all of the Stampin' Up! Kits. Do you know that every month they put out at least 2 all-inclusive, everything you need except scissors kits? And the only reason you need scissors is to get into the box. Well, I have in my hot little hands the Beautiful Blues kit. This is one of our new ones, and I just think the pictures online are so exciting. If you haven't seen this kit yet, if you're interested in getting one for yourself, you'll see my website up top and down below in the description box, so you can always pop on there and take a look at it. But yes, I'm excited. I think it's going to be so pretty. It looks like it will be. And you know, there's always something else you can do other than the design that's included in the kit. So why don't I just go ahead, get this down on the creating table, and let's see what the Beautiful Blues kit is all about. Hang on. Okay, Beautiful Blues kit. This is from Stampin' Up's online kit collection. It's, I think about a month old. I think it came out in May. And I really do like their kits. There's a pretty big variety of them, and all year I save all the money that's earned from the sale of kits from my Stampin' Up! Site to give to my September Great Cycle Challenge fundraiser for the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So let's see what I'm going to be crafting and fighting cancer with this month. Okay, like I said, everything's included. Here's an ink spot, Night of Navy. And I do have my grid paper on my glass mat because you get a funny glare in from the window. So anyways, okay, so it comes with my Stampin' Up! Spot, my Stampin' Spot, Night of Navy. And here I've got, okay, here's the stamps. Alrighty, look at these cards. Aren't those beautiful? I think they're so pretty. So let's get into the box. I don't think this one's got a little thing. Let's see if I can put this behind something so I can read it. Okay, we've got, yeah, there we go. Wishing you comfort. Okay, I think that says comfort. You're in my thoughts. And okay, so these are all comforting things. And this one, okay, oh, just wishing you comfort, you're in my thoughts, and sending love. Okay. And then we've got a little sprig of leaves. Beautiful blue gems. They've got like a little crosshatch design on them. Here we've got our tear and tape adhesive. Let's see if I can get the baggie open. So we've got the tear and tape adhesive. Oh, look how thin it is. That's pretty cool. The tear and tape that you purchase from Stampin' Up! Is thicker than that. Not much, but a little bit wider than that. It's like 1/4 of an inch wide. This looks like about 1/8 of an inch. And you get a stamping acrylic block. And this is what you need to put your stamps on. Okay. And we've got our envelopes, our decorated envelopes. Okay, put those aside. And here are our card bases. Okay. That is pretty. Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3 of these card bases. Lots of little panels to put our sentiments on. These are all already die cut. You just pop them out. You don't have to cut anything. The only reason I needed scissors was to get into the packaging. Okay, and this is, ooh, look at these. You know, I really like how the front and back of the card faces are decorated, because then I like to cut them apart and use them for two separate cards. Like have this be a card front for one and that be a card front for another. But there, I've got 3 of those. And, ooh, all the pretty blues. All the pretty blues. 3 of these. Okay, 3, 6, 9, so I'm making 9 cards. And here are my die cuts. Look how pretty. And with them being white on the other side, actually, if you wanted to take a little sponge and sponge over here, I bet you could. If you wanted to use a different color, those are pretty. So I've got 3 sheets of those. Ooh, don't you love laser cut designs? And you can always change the colors if you want. But that is so pretty. Yes. Cardboard for another kind of crafting. Oh, here we go. Did come with the black line. Okay, so you're in my thoughts, wishing you comfort and sending love. This, you just fold them over and put a little strip of tear and tape on here, and that creates an envelope that you can put your stamp down in. Make a little black line envelope, and then you can easily see what is in this little packet when you're storing them away. And our directions. Oh, how pretty. Okay, so this kit is making 9 full-size cards. I think it's around $21. Something like that. That sounds about right. They're usually around $21. I know there's a cute one that's less than that, but it only makes 4 cards. It's like 12. Anyways, let me look at this. So here you see you've got each of your 3 card designs, just everything you need for each of these designs. And then you have pictorial directions, exactly how to put the cards together to get these finished designs. Oh, so pretty. And look, when I say it's everything you need, it really is. If you were going to add some ribbon, if it happened to be a kit that had ribbon, look, you've got your measuring along the bottom. Now this goes up to 9 inches, and you've got your standard, you know, your imperial, and then you've got your metric. How awesome is that? Well, I'm excited. I think these are going to be so pretty, so quick and easy to put together, and I think there's actually a few things that you can do with this kit to really come up with some stunning cards. So let me clean all this up and get everything set up to do just 1 card of each design, and hang on, I'll be right back. Now, one thing I did neglect to point out, in here, along with the gems, we have Domensionals. Okay, and I'm ready. This is card design number 1. Now, I do like to use my bone folder. I do like to use a tweezer, and quite often I will have my take your pick tool handy. These are not necessary to put the kit together, but they make my life much easier. So I'm going to keep those right here in case I need them. I'm going to put my gems out of the way. Now, the first thing we want to do, since we do like to play with ink, you know, I have the leaves on my block. And yes, I'm using my full-size Night of Navy. It's just easier for me to not have many open Stampin' spots. I like to take these places, and I like to take one that's not been opened. That way I know there's plenty of ink in it. So when I'm home, I generally use my full size. So notice I'm just tapping. Tap, tap, tap. These photopolymer stamps, you can see if it's all inked up or not. Now this card front really is done, but we like to stamp, so I'm just going to add some more leaves to it right about there. Okay? Having that depth of the color, the depth of the ink, just adds a little bit to it. And I've got this little panel right here. It's got a Night of Navy outline on the inside of the panel. And I'm going to stamp it with You're in My Thoughts. There we go. Perfect. And actually, got a little ink on my finger here. Let me get something to wipe that off. Okay. Now I won't get ink everywhere. Okay, on the inside, I'm going to take my leaves And I'm going to, actually, let me see if I've got a scrap of paper under here. Okay, got a little piece of scrap paper so I don't have mess on this for the rest of the filming. And I'm going to stamp these leaves in the middle. I'm going to do once full. I'm going to come off to the side a little bit for a second generation, and then I'm going to come again for a third. So there we've got the inside decorated. Perfect! I'm going to give this a good press with the bone folder. Okay, now let's see. According to the directions, I'm going to take this sprig. I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape across the back here. So here's my tear and tape. Just tear off a little, just stick it on there, and then you just tear it off. You don't have to cut it. Okay. Now we are going to put this right here in the middle. Now this is the kind of thing that I like to use my little tweezers for. Okay. I think both top and bottom are the same, so it doesn't really matter. So let's put it straight on the grid paper, and that way I'll get my sentiment straight. There we go. And on the back, I'm going to pop 3 little dimensionals. Actually, I'm only going to use 2. I'm such a rule breaker. It says use 3. I'm only going to use 2. Take that. And then we just put that right across here. Look. Oh, that's so pretty. You're in my thoughts. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, that's card number 1, done and dusted. If the directions said to add the gems, I would. But honestly, these gems I think are a little light for this. So I'm going to follow the directions and not add the gems. And there is card number 1. Well, I can't wait to see what card number 2 looks like and how easy card number 2 is. So let me clean this up. I'll be right back. Card number 2 is a landscape card, meaning it'll open that direction. Let me go ahead and give it a nice crisp press with the bone folder. And we need the white laser cut, this little fun shaped sentiment label, and wishing you oh, you're in my thoughts. This actually is the wishing you comfort. Okay, here we go. Wishing you comfort. Okay, let's get this here ready to stamp. And wishing you comfort. Make sure your die cut's straight. Center it. Okay. That's all we have for this one, folks. Now, it's just a matter of a little bit of tear and tape. Okay. A little bit of tear and tape on this one. Remember, this one, remember, is white on both sides, okay? Peel off the little wax protection. And on the back, a couple of dimensionals, and I'm crossing the dimensional over both the panel and the laser cut to make sure nothing falls apart. There we go. And we'll put this wishing you comfort right down here. Now this one does call for 3 of the gems. This is what I like with my take your pick tool. One end, it comes with this, which has like a paddle on one side and a piercing tool on the other. and the other end comes with this little tacky stuff. Let me show you. If any of you have ever used any of these embellishments gems, when you go to get them off of this acetate sheet, sometimes they'll just kind of pop across the room. With this take your pick tool, however, you just put your putty against it and you pick it right up and you just carry it over to where you want it and stick it down. So this one I want 3, 2, and where's the third one? The third one is down there somewhere. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Have you ever seen anything so easy picking the gems up? I love using my putty end of my take your pick tool. And there's the card. It's completed. That quick and easy. I love it. And it's really pretty. That is really pretty. Okay, well, let me get on to card number 3. Okay, ready to go with card number 3. So, we have this beautiful blue card base, and just like with the others, I'm going to give it a good press with the bone folder, and I'm going to, let's take some tear and tape, and looking at the picture, we want to put some tear and tape on the back of this gorgeous laser cut panel. Sometimes the hardest part of using the tear and tape is finding the end, so you just run your fingernail along it until you find one. Okay. A little bit there. A little bit there. Nice generous strip along the side. A couple little dashes along the bottom. Nice generous strip up this side. Okay. Now, okay, got it centered. Alrighty. Now, just get the ink out here. I've got the little die cut for my sentiment, and I'm using Sending Love. There we go. And I'm going to put a little strip of tear and tape along the back of that one. Some dimensionals on the back of this large floral laser cut. Oh, that is so pretty. Gosh, that is pretty, isn't it? So we're just going to put that right about here. Oh. We're going to put our sentiment right about here. And now let me get my take your pick tool so I can use that putty, because we're going to put a couple of gems. I don't know if you can see, we want, but on the directions it's, you got to look close. I don't know if it's going to show up. We want one here, and we want one here. Oh, this is so pretty. And we want one down here. Oh, and that's all there is to it, and look how beautiful. I really like these cards. These are gorgeous. But you know, as much as I like these cards, I'm looking at these things and I'm thinking, I think there's something else I can do. So hang on, and I'll be right back, and we will change things up a little bit. Hang on. Okay, it is so easy to get basic cardstock. So I'm going to multiply the number of cards I can get from this kit just by adding some white cardstock and a little piece of black for one of the cards. First thing I need to do is take my 8.5 by 11 basic white cardstock. I'm going to line it up on my Stampin' trimmer to 4 1/4, and I'm going to score it. Now I'm going to turn it, bring it to 5 1/2, putting it at 5 1/2. Okay, now I've got 2 basic card bases ready to go. Okay, let me get that, well, let me get these out of the way. Okay, so here I've got my basic white card base, and it is measuring 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. It's already scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to give that a nice good press with the bone folder. Now with this card here from the kit, I'm going to use the die cut, and I'm going to use this pretty little flourish, this little die cut, so, and I'm going to use the sentiment. So the first thing I want to do is stamp my sentiment. Okay. Grab a little piece of this tear and tape. Now I'm going to do just 2 very quick, very easy alternate ideas. And this is super quick and easy. Let's turn it this way. Okay, now I could put that flat down, or I could raise it up. Let's see. Let's go ahead and raise it up a little bit. No, let's go ahead and just put it flat. That'll be fine. We can just do it flat. I'm just going to put some tear and tape here, 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 and here. Oops, make sure it's the right direction. That looks about right. Okay. Let's throw a couple dimensionals on the back. Oh, I like that. I like the blue on the white. That is really pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I think that makes it look a lot more cheerful for some reason, but so that is one idea you can do, is just get some white cardstock and use the laser cut panel on the white, and that makes a gorgeous card. Alrighty, what are we going to do with the rest of this card base though? Okay, this and the flowers are the other part that would have been used. We're going to do something different. Hang on and let me grab some, oh, I got some black right here. Okay. We're going to cut this card base in half. Grab my Stampin' paper trimmer. Now, when you're cutting in half, you can see very easily on the cutting track where exactly the score line lines up to the cutting track. And, you know, you go ahead and you cut that, but when you cut your card bases in half, you have to look. You're going to have a little piece of the fold on one of those sheets. This one does not have it, so we're good. And I've got the other card base right here, and I'm also grabbing a scrap of black. Black cardstock, also another normal thing to have in your stash. This card base, I'm just going to check it on the trimmer to make sure that it's measuring 5.5 by 4 1/4. There's 5.5 and 4 1/4. It is good. I'm going to cut this black panel to 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay. Ooh, I moved it. No! Don't move your cardstock when you're cutting. That will give you a less than desirable result. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Put that to the side. I'm going to take a look at this. This is my top right-hand corner. Okay, I'll fold that so it's easier to see, so it's easier for everyone to see. Okay. I want to measure over to 2 inches. So on my grid paper, I'm going to come to 2 inches. Ooh, how am I going to do this? And fit it in the camera. Can you see? All right. Let's pull this. Okay, this Stampin' paper trimmer, there is a really cool thing. This opening in the middle that your cutting blade and your scoring blade run through, if your card can fit through that opening, it doesn't need extra postage. But another thing you can do is, okay, I'm taking it to 2 inches, and I should have a pencil in here. I can fit my pencil right down in the opening and make a tick mark, right where the 2-inch mark is. Now, I'm going to put my bottom right-hand corner in the cutting track, and I'm going to put the tick mark in the cutting track. There we go, and there we go. And I'm just going to cut off this corner. So when you shut it, ta-da, you see that. Okay, now I'm going to take my black card base. Okay, here I have some basic black cardstock, and let me see, how wide is that? Not quite 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to come over to 5.5. And I'm going to measure this to 4 instead of 4 1/4. That way, when I make my diagonal cut, I only have to measure once. Now, I'm going to want to make a matching cut. So I'm going to bring this over to the 2. Remember, it's only 4 inches. This front was 4 1/4. This is only 4, so I'm still going to stick with 2-inch measurement. Bring that down. I'm going to take since it's black and I'm going to have difficulty seeing a pencil, I'm going to take the piercing end of my take your pick tool and stick it right in there and make a little tiny hole that I can see. I'm going to come up and I'm going to turn it, put the bottom corner there. Let me feel for that. Okay. Oops. Let me see. There it is. I had it right. I'm going to make that mark a little better. There we go. So I'm going to put that in the cutting track, the bottom corner in the cutting track. That little piece right there is going to be coming off because it's on the cut side. There we go. Now, if the math is right, it's going to fit on 3 sides and have an even 1/4 inch all the way down. Perfect! Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this I'm going to do a little bit differently. The first thing I'm going to do is measure to 2 inches. And I'm going to cut this, make the tick mark here. And I'm going to cut from there to here. There we go. When you're cutting and you don't want to run your blade into the corner. You want to put it down where it'll come into the middle or a flat. If you run it into the corner, it could smush the corner up. Okay. Now this piece should fit right there. And so it does. And so it does. Okay, now I got a problem. This is not going to fit over the black. Okay? And let you see the black. We have to take 1/4 inch off of this thing. Off of this. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim 1/4 inch. On the paper trimmer, you can cut on both sides. So I'm going to slip it over here to the 1/4 inch. And that's going to get us started in the right direction. Okay. Evenly. Okay, let's put this together and finish this card. Get all this trash out of the way. I'm just going to take a little bit of this tear and tape. I'm going to run it down to the bottom here. That should be good. We're going to line this up right here on the edge. So when you shut it, you see that. I'm going to use some, well, I've got enough here. I'm going to use some wet glue. I like using wet glue. It gives you a minute to move things. Of course, you can use the tear and tape if you like. If that's all you have, please do. We're going to line this one up like so and like so. And now we're going to do this one. Line that one up. Okay, okay. Now, let's take this piece and throw a couple dimensionals on the back. I don't believe we have a sentiment stamped yet, do we? I will get that, and we will do that now. Okay, I don't have any dimensionals over here, so it's okay if I cross over. Oh, I'm excited. This is looking good. Let me stamp a sentiment real quick. Okay, let's get this sentiment stamped. You're in my thoughts. Got the dimensionals there. Let's put some tear and tape on this. You know, you just move a couple little things around. Basic white cardstock and black cardstock, you know, those are so common. I'm not adding any other embellishments. I could. I'm not adding any ribbon. I could. I'm not adding any. Do I want it here or here? If I put it up there, I would want dimensionals. On the original card, it went across the card. But I think I kind of like it maybe here. Where do y'all think I should put it? Snuggle it right there? Okay, I'm just going to put it here, and I'll explain why. I'm going to take my embellishments, and I'm going to put one here, one here, and one here. And that way, the weight of the card is in the bottom corner, and it brings you up. And it's kind of like making an X in opposition to the stripes coming down. So you could do this, just, you know, different colors. You could cut that down a little bit to show the black and have a black frame, have a white frame. But there you go, and there you have on the inside is plenty of room to write. Or you could take your flower and you could stamp your little leaves up over here. Do what you want, but I think that turned out pretty. I think that's a really nice card design. It's an easy card design. What I do, I made 3 cuts, right? 1, 2, 3, easy peasy. And I didn't throw out the rest of that card base. Well, anyways, let me clean everything up and let's take a look at the 5 different designs. Okie dokie, let's take a quick look at what we've done. Okay, so the first card in the kit with, don't forget, the matching envelopes. This beautiful card with the die cut on front and the floral spray, a couple little gems. Actually, this wasn't the first card we did, but whatever. That's one of the cards we did. This was the first card we did. Isn't that pretty? You're in my thoughts. And we put a little spray of leaves on the inside and the matching envelope. Let's do it that way. And then we had the wishing you comfort, of course, matching envelopes for all. So pretty, so quick. Took literally 2 minutes to put these together, each one together. So then what I did is I took the materials from this card and I added some basic white cardstock. I put the laser cut on the white, used the smaller spray with Sending Love and a couple little gems. And then for the rest of the card that this laser cut would have gone to, I just added a little bit of black cardstock, the other white card base from this card, put this beautiful floral spray that was here, put it on here, and a You're in My Thoughts. And look at that. I hope you like these cards. Please subscribe so we can play again. Leave some comments below and let me know if this is something that you think you'll do with another card kit or if just paper. So easy. Anyways, if you don't have a US demonstrator, I'm here for you. You'll see my website up top and in the description box below. And if I can help you with any of your stamping needs, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for spending time watching, and until next time, keep making the world a beautiful place. Bye now.